Hi everyone, my name's Arrow. I go by they, them pronouns, and this is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time, but I've been too anxious to make or made other things or whatever. But I have a lot of ideas and I wanted to share it and in case it helped anyone else. So I'm going to be breaking this video down into three parts. I'll cover some distraction-based ways to avoid self-harm, sensation-based ways to avoid self-harm, and other tips. And these are things that I have discovered from reading things online of tips that people have had or things that I have tried that have helped me deal with any urges. And I also think that this information could be helpful for other people who don't necessarily struggle with self-harm but might struggle with other like self-destructive behaviors, either around like food or drugs or whatever. Anything. I think that there's a lot of overlap and things that might be helpful to people. But also I don't this isn't specific advice to anyone. This isn't medical advice. Obviously, I think if it's something that you're really struggling with and you don't have any contact with a professional about it, I really recommend that. And there are good ones out there who do want to help you and can help you. But I just wanted to share some of my own experiences. The first category is distraction-based. So the thing about distraction-based is you want to find an activity that requires moving to get out some of that energy and also kind of keeps you paying attention, but you can kind of get into with a distressed state. So some things that I think are great are any sort of making of like art, drawing, painting, sculpting, or if you're, that's going to make you feel more anxious, maybe like scribbling, singing a song, or just like, listening to loud music of a song with headphones, things that require hand movements, so maybe knitting or crocheting or braiding something, dancing, playing a musical instrument. You could repeat a long poem or quote or monologue and just kind of, get that out. I also think, maybe like doing an easy little science experiment at home, like just like Googling something and then doing that. Something that I find helpful too is doing an exercise where you like look around for colors and then so that's usually a mindfulness sort of thing, but you can add the physical aspect to it, which will help. I think in this scenario, at least it's something that's helped, is like I'll be like, oh, that's orange, and then I'll go touch it, and then I'll notice something else and be like, oh, that's red, and I'll touch it, or that's blue, and then I'll go touch it. Another distraction-based thing that I was recommended before is drinking tea or making tea, because it can be a really soothing process. You have something both taste and like holding the warmth, and also like you make something, so that can be just a really great thing to do as well. Or like following a recipe. Also, something else I want to just add a little disclaimer around all of these is and I also will mention like working out can be wonderful too, but again, disclaimer on all of these, some of these activities may bring up feelings of being like self-critical or bring up anxiety or have any sort of discomfort. So if any of these activities do that for you, don't do those. The second part is sensation-based. So some things that are great for this are like things that you can like touch or hear or like smell or taste. So playing with like Play-Doh or slime or like a fidget toy. I really like clapping or like tapping, like gently. Like I want to make sure for me it's something that I'm not doing too hard, but just like, like something like that. Or like tapping your foot or something. Like I find that something that's very helpful for me and very accessible because I don't need anything else around me. I can just use me. I got a TENS machine for my muscle problems and to kind of help with that, and that can be really great because it's strong sensation that's not painful, so you can focus on that. I've seen people talk about Tiger Balm. I've seen people talk about holding ice, but the thing is I do think it can actually be painful. And I think that that is something that people, like, that is something that personally I will really, really avoid. And, you know, it's a very much a last case scenario, if at all, kind of thing. But like, yeah, you could also do like a warm hot pack that's, again, not super scalding, but just like a sensation. You know, smelling something like incense, essential oils, just like something you can smell, or something that's a strong taste, like menthol cough drops or cinnamon candy, just like something that can kind of have some sort of experience or sensation. Sour candy. Some other things that I think could be helpful to people, like apps that you can use. There's a great app called Calm Harm that's related to another app called Clear Fear, which is just generally for anxiety. I think they're both really great apps because they include so many things and they're super dynamic. And the app also, it has a bunch of like things to sort of distract you. It has things to kind of like, you know, places that you can put notes in it so then it'll remind you when you need them, or accessing resources that you might need, or just, you know, yeah. So I thought that was really great. Another thing is avoiding things that might trigger you. For example, for me, I personally didn't really struggle with cutting, but when I've used like a razor, it's made me think of cutting, which has made me think of self-harm, which has brought up those urges for me sometimes. And then, you know, I'm holding a sharp tool, really trying not to think about self-harm, and it just, I get a lot of intrusive thoughts and it sucks. So for me, something I'd use is I use a tiny little electric razor that's got like, you know, one of the small ones, and I use that for my face, and that just works wonders for me. I don't have to think about it. It's super easy. And also just, it's like, for me, I find a lot easier to do without worrying about getting razor burn because my skin's super sensitive. And yeah. And another thing I would say is forgetting the last date that you did do something. For me, like when I first heard this, I was like, oh no, but I like knowing the date because then I can see like how far I've come. And sometimes that's true, but I've found like recently it's been helpful to not have an exact date or think of, oh, it's been this long since something happened, because for me, when I'm in a really self-destructive headspace, knowing that it's been like so long will make the urges stronger for me. So it's been helpful to, like, when I'm like thinking about like, oh, when was the last time, you know, I can think in a general way, but I'm like, I generally try to push myself away from that, because in the end it doesn't really matter, because what matters most is that it's not happening now. This is just my experience, and if anyone has any other like tips or has anything else that they want to share, please feel free to let me know, or if anyone like, yeah. So I'm glad I was able to finally finish and film this video, so yay. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well and you have a good day. Okay, that's it. Thank you.